Welcome to our Transcend Media Service viewers. My name is Kimberlye Kowalczyk. I'm reporting from the Peace Village in Austria. And today I'm here with Dr. Hossain Danesh, who is founder and president of International Education for Peace Institute. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
You are here at the European University Center for Peace Studies giving a lecture this week on leadership for peace. Why this course and why now?
Well, this course is about some of the most important challenge that we have in the world today. As you see, the world is devoid of leadership. The leaders around the world, political leaders, social leaders, religious leaders, even academic leaders, they talk more about conflict, about separation, about otherness, rather than about the fundamental facts that humanity is one, and we have to maintain oneness of humanity. We have to come into agreement with each other so we can both save ourselves and save the environment and save life. So the issue of leadership based on principles of peace is one of the most urgent issues of our time.
Could you give us an idea of, maybe through examples, of what type of leaders we are experiencing in our world today and why this has come about?
Well, you know, historically, if we think about different models of leadership, we find two models of leadership that are very predominant in our world. So in the authoritarian dictatorial systems of leadership, force is used to demand conformity, to demand obedience, to demand that people should follow and adore the leader, and these leaders usually create enormous fear in people, and the consequences are enormous. And throughout history, for reasons that we cannot go into details here, this mode of leadership has been the most dominant mode, okay? Then, approximately since 200 years ago, there has appeared a very different type of leadership in which the power is shared between people. And it is shared in the context of a competitive, usually adversarial, democratic systems. Right now, the Western world is trying to take that type of government to the rest of the world. And that would be a great development, improvement from the systems that we have. But both the authoritarian and adversarial democratic systems are conflict-based. Now, it is becoming increasingly evident that this mode of government also is not meeting the needs of humanity today, because humanity now is moving to the next stage. You see, there are movements in the world that clearly says that the earth that we live in is one country. You know, for example, environmental issues, they don't know boundaries between Norway and another country. Everywhere is a part of the environment, you see. The consciousness that we live on planet Earth, which is a home for all humanity. Our economic systems are becoming integrated. Our information system becomes integrated. Our travel system connecting all peoples of the world together. So no longer we can continue to talk about this part of the world, that part of the world, this race, that race. These separations that we have has to be understood in the context of our fundamental oneness.
Yes.
This requires a new type of politics, a new type of governance, a new type of leadership.
Yeah. Are there any examples that you see in the world today of leadership for peace?
Very few possibilities are there. For example, you can say that what happened in South Africa with Mandela were good examples of the beginnings of a leadership for peace. Because he didn't use the power that he was given to retaliate. He used that power to unite. The whole movement of civic society, the NGOs that go around the world, that's another example of the glimpses of a beginning of realizing that we are all one. Another development that is very hopeful is the whole issue of gender equality. The issue of gender equality is the beginning of realization that we are one. And authoritarian and adversarial modes of governance are not the type of governance that usually women are very interested. Women are much more capable of creating unity-based, peace-based types of governance. Another thing that emerging, but still is in its very early stages, is the whole issue of human rights. Right now, there is no universal agreement about human rights because the human rights have been formulated according to certain limited mindsets rather than universal mindsets. But eventually, we are going to be able to develop a new categorization of human needs and human rights that are much more universal, that would deal with both needs of individuals and rights of individuals and needs of the collective and the rights of the collective.
And now we are in a time of crisis, or in a different perspective, maybe just change. And how does this relate to this issue of leadership?
Well, always crisis means that what we are doing is not effective enough. And we have to bring about a new way of looking and doing things, okay? So right now we have crisis of leadership in the world. We have crisis in financial leadership. We have crisis in political leadership. We have crisis in religious leadership. We have crisis in all aspects of life of humanity. It means that our established paradigms are not working. We have to do a paradigm shift. We have to come up with new concepts and new ideas. And I believe that this paradigm shift fundamentally is taking place from conflict orientation to unity orientation. And this is at the core of the shift that is taking place in the world.
Yes.
And is going to increasingly impact the way we think, the way we do things, the way we relate to each other, the way we govern ourselves.
Yes. Thank you very much for
You're
speaking
welcome.
with us.
Thank you.